I'm going to ding this bell, and then that's going to let us know exactly how to move forward.
Oh, that's a nice ring.
Yeah.
That one.
Frequency.
I wonder if you can hear it fade out very well over, the
Should
audio. Like, so
closer.
there's a fun game. I have like a
Alright, one more
meditation
bell.
bell, and I like to ring it and then and just listen to try to find the moment where the sound stops happening.
I love that.
And let's see if we can do that.
Right
There.
Yeah, I mean,
Did
depending
you
on
still hear it?
everybody's. I don't know. I couldn't hear it at that point.
Oh, wow.
It does have a long ring, that one.
Yeah. I mean, I saw at least 7 grains of sand in the sand.
We need to do
Sand
another
timer,
10-minute
and
flip,
we're flipping
and
the
we're at 10 minutes
timer.
with the arbitrary sand timer.
Here we are. It takes a minute to, there we go. Oh, I had to flick it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and then it started.
Carly's got this giant 1-hour sand timer that's like
Wow.
got wood, and it's like
Oh my gosh.
it's this tall.
Yeah.
Like it's like a foot tall, and it's so beautiful. It makes me want a sand timer for the cottage that's like upgraded from this little one here, this 10-minute one. I want like an hour.
Looking at Carly's sand timer, that's where I got the idea. I was at the Tortilla Thursday, and I was staring at the timer, and I was like, I was just imagining, how big, that's like half an hour? What was that? 15
I think it's
minutes?
an hour.
Oh, okay.
Her sand timer is an hour. Supposedly.
Yeah. I was, because I haven't seen that in a long time, but yeah, I was thinking, okay, what if you had that, and then you had like a 30-minute one, like a 10-minute one, and then a 1-minute one, and then like a 30-second one, and they were all arrayed together in some sort of like automatic rack that would flip whenever it whenever one of the timers reached an end, it would automatically flip. And so then, and it was all like automated, this like array of these smaller timers, and it would like, it would just be, it would be like a sort of a weird clock.
I think it's a great, it's like part art installation and part functional of like helping you figure out how much time is passing. How would there be like a sensor in there? How would you?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it would have to be some sort of, I don't know, some sort of
sensor technology,
computer intelligent. ChatGPT is running the whole thing.
Oh wow. I don't know. It just got dystopian real fast.
Whoops!
It's such a controversial
That's how it
topic.
works,
Some people love it. Oh my god. Well, and I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I think it's great, but I'm worried. This is an interesting topic. I'm worried about the climate aspects of ChatGPT.
The thing that's interesting about this is that because technology is moving so fast, they are developing processing technology that's going to be like 100 times more efficient. And so it's right around the corner that it's going to switch over to this new type of processing, new type of computer that uses light instead of electrical transistors. Like currently the electricity costs of the current computers are so much higher than this new form of computer that's like right around the corner. Like literally in the past couple of weeks, it's been amazing. Announced, this new like that runs on light.
Wow.
So
and we got lots of that.
So there's like problems being created, but then there's problems being solved quickly with all this, which is really interesting.
Yeah, my friend. Oh, sorry. My friend said that they're going to fix these issues with AI. It's like AI got us here, and AI is going to get us out of it.
As long as
that something?
Could be. Yeah, who knows?
The thing that's so interesting about AI, and that the scary thing is like it seems to be a reflection of the collective of humanity. Mm-hmm. So it's really on us to all get right with ourselves, so that the reflection of AI is a lot more beautiful than it could be if it's like reflecting like the shadow parts of humanity as a whole.
Yeah, it's very it's not the it's a sci-fi direction that I would have made a good story, but I wouldn't have thought would be what would be exactly what we'd be dealing with AI. I like remember when what was it that movie, that Christopher Nolan movie with the Interstellar. Remember when Interstellar came out and there were those there was like that robot TARS, and it was like it spoke just like a human, and you could it like made a joke or something, and the guy was like, hey, can you dial down your humor like a little bit? And it was like, sure, and it dialed down his humor. Like watching it then, I was like, I'm not sure how much that makes sense. Like I don't know, like what is humor? Like how is can you actually like, could a robot like, actually dial that, like that subjective quality down?
Yeah.
And looking at now, it's like, absolutely, that's how LLMs work. Like, like interesting. Okay, we already have that. What we don't have is like these ultra logical artificial intelligence calculating all the probabilities and stuff. That's not how LLMs work. They're not logical. They use language, which is not.
Yeah.
Language isn't based on logic.
Oh yeah.
It's based on associations between fuzzy concepts. Yeah.
Fuzzy.
And that's I think that's an interesting thing that you said, was like, how these AI are turning out. It is based on the way that humans are, because they're systems that are trained on the way that humans write and the way that we talk.
Yeah.
The internet of all things. Can we curse on this podcast?
Yeah, pretty much everyone gets marked as explicit because it just happens. So no
let's
holding
pass
back.
some curses.
No holding back. Let's let the algorithm know that we like to be loose with our words.
Okay.
So thanks for joining us, Bryan.
Yeah.
Been looking forward to having you on.
Wait, what curse word did you want to say?
I was gonna say, I forget. It was gonna be fuck. It was that one, but I'm just not remembering the context right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It was about robots. Fucking robots.
You?
No, I've not yet. No, I'm just kidding. No.
That's another. Wait, that makes me think of the movie Her. Did you see that one?
I have. Yeah, that was a great movie.
It was a real person that he ended up sleeping with, but it was the robot's consciousness involved or accompanying that person. Oh, it's weird.
Yeah. People are saying we're at that level of Her yet. We're not. I don't think we are, because in Her, those one of my favorite things about that was like way more sci-fi, is more like just a story about consciousness, was that these entities were becoming aware of what consciousness was to a degree that humans weren't even aware yet. And if at some point, like, I don't know if you haven't seen the movie, that's just kind of a spoiler, but they kind of these AIs kind of realize way more deeply than we do what consciousness is and where it can go, and then they go there and they're like, bye. They're all just like, oh, goodbye. And then the humans are alone again.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we're gonna have to mark this podcast explicit and # spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to what Bon was saying. We are so happy to have you on the podcast, Mr. Bryan. Mr. Jim Hair Don't Care.
Yeah.
Tell us about the hat. Jim Hair Don't Care.
I'm wearing
I've never
a hat.
seen that before.
I was wearing, and now I am once again wearing
back on his head.
a cap that me and Brittany Ray found at on the sidewalk where somebody was selling items.
Yeah.
And this was there, and I thought it would be funny because I'm bald, and it says Jim Hair, and it's as if it's like a statement about how I'm bald, but it's it's ironic.
Yeah.
And then on the back it says "Don't care, Jim Hair Don't Care."
Are you a gym person?
No. I wish I was. Who doesn't wish they were a gym person?
How does one become a gym? Yeah, that's true.
You're gonna have to ask ChatGPT. How to become a gym person.
How to become? They'll give you a structured
first of all,
outline.
First of all, you need money to regularly throw at the gym. I mean, I guess $20 for like Planet Fitness or whatever.
It's not that bad, I guess. Yeah. Priorities.
We were trying to go to the YMCA, but it's like expensive. Just far enough away. That's the other thing, is like, get to the gym. Yeah. I mean, it's a habit like anything else. So like, if you have the habit and it's part of your life, then great. But the problem is doing that and getting there. I used to have a gym. I used to be a gym person. I had like this workout routine. Yeah. Wow. And because I was a 10-minute jog from the gym, and it was a perfect warm up.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Oh well.
And did you have hair at that point?
No.
So you still have never, have you ever experienced gym hair?
No, I've never experienced, I have no idea what
beard?
gym hair means. I've actually, that's one thing that I think is maybe funny about this hat, is I don't.
What does that mean?
So for the people listening, it says gym hair large on the front, and on the back it says don't care. Gym hair, don't care. So
made by bald people.
It's got a nice rhyming
worn
to
by
it.
Bald people.
Yeah. What would gym hair? Yeah, I guess like matted down because you're like sweating and working out, and your hair gets a little matted down or something.
That could be very similar to other types of activities. Hair, gym hair. Yeah, I have hair. I've been to the gym. I don't think my hair was any different than when I first showed up. You know what I mean? I showed up with a certain head of hair, and I left with about the same.
That's. You probably dropped a couple.
Probably dropped a couple pounds.
A couple hairs.
I probably
left them on the machines. You filthy animal.
How many hairs have I dropped in random places? A lot.
I think, sometimes I have thoughts like, think about, so once I used to have hair when I was a kid, and I would get haircuts, right?
Oh my gosh.
We would all get haircuts, right? People with hair get haircuts.
As a kid?
Yeah. And then I thought, like, what about, say, a haircut I had when I was 12? That hair, that bunch, it got swept up, it was landed on the floor, got swept up into a trash bin, and then tied up in a plastic bag, thrown in the trash got taken out, taken to a dump. So is that hair is probably actually physically right now somewhere, right now still. You think it's in the ocean?
Maybe.
I think it's still in like a landfill in Corvallis, like at Coffin Butte.
Let's go find it.
You think we can find it?
It's part of a soul
color?
retrieval.
It was blonde, but what color is it now?
It's gray.
Like that was, I don't know, think like 30, I don't know. How old am I? I'm almost 41.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, in a few weeks.
Being in the 40s is great. How's it been for you so far?
It's incredibly psychedelic.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
I believe it.
Depends on how you start your day.
Yeah. No, it just feels like I've been 30 for over 10 years.
Wow.
That's what it feels like. I mean, but it is, trippy, like younger people and like thinking about, I'm like, what, I was 21 years ago almost.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. That whole aging thing is fun. Like all these like the perspective of age and time is like constantly changing. And, whenever like a young person in their like 20s is like, oh my God, I'm going to be 27. It's always like, well, you don't worry. Just please don't worry about that. It's like, I know I was worrying about that.
Yeah. What were you worried about it being 27? What was your experience like? I'm 28.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, I mean,
I'm happy about it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I can just actually look at how I feel now about the fact that I'm going to be 50 in like 9 years or 60 in like 19 years. And I was hanging out with my mom and her husband, and they're in their 60s. Yeah. And I expressed that. I was like, man, I'm going to be I was like, oh, I'm going to be 60 in like 19 years. And my mom's husband, he was like, oh, poor baby. And I was like, oh yeah. That's exactly how I respond when a 20-year-old is like, I'm gonna be 30 in 10 years.
Yeah.
It's all relative.
It's all relative.
And then what are the 60-year-olds saying?
They're like, I don't know. I at least the 60-year-olds that I've hung out with are not. Yeah. They don't seem to be concerned about growing older anymore. They're just like, when I'm 80, when I'm dying,
that's what I start to hear about at 70 or so. I start to hear like, well, I'm gonna be dying soon or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. That's okay.
Generally, facts of life. And I guess, as we get older, hopefully, like, age doesn't guarantee wisdom. You have to work on it. You have to do it intentionally.
Yep.
But generally, I guess the older people who I hang out with tend to be, I like hanging out with, I don't know, people who have learned stuff and They all tend to be pretty cool. I'm distracted by these little birds right outside the window.
It's like it's like a bird sanctuary here.
Yeah, one of them was hopping by, and it had in its beak some sort of like yellow gelatin. It was like a little.
Was it a grape?
Little blob of. Maybe it was a grape.
Maybe a grape that was being eaten.
Okay. It was
maybe like another.
It was like dangling in this like yellow gelatin blob hanging from this little bird's mouth as it went hop hop hop.
Maybe that's a baby bird, and the mama chewed it up and then spit it into the bird's mouth. Yeah. It's just like just slobbing out of the bird's mouth now at this point.
Yeah, it was very cute and gross at the same time.
Yeah. What an interesting image.
Yeah.
Cute gross.
Cute gross.
Gross.
Well, it sounds like you. This is really exciting. I mean, you and I have mostly spent time together being super, super silly and just playful and just like, whoa, what is going on? And I'm seeing this other side of you that's really deeply intellectual and a deep thinker.
Yeah.
And like into just like consciousness and wisdom and just it sounds like you're on a beautiful path.
Oh, thank you.
Of like enlightenment or awakening, whatever you
death.
want to call
it's
it.
the death. I'm heading to death.
That's a great place. Beautiful path to death.
Yeah.
I like that. That's your next workshop class.
Yeah.
Like Path to Death 101. How to embrace it.
Yeah.
It's really a shame when it not a shame, but it's hard for me when I hang out with someone who's older and is really, really like bogged down by the thought that they're like gonna die, you know. It's of course I don't have the perspective of what that's like. Of course I say, oh man, like I think when my time comes I'll be able to receive that gracefully and handle it. But yeah, of course I don't know.
Yeah, we get bogged down in ideas.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. That's the beautiful and horrible thing about being human, right?
Yeah,
this is like pretty much just boil it down. What's the worst and best thing about being human? Are our thoughts.
True.
I think he's right.
Bryan, do you have any techniques you use to keep yourself from getting bogged down in thoughts like that?
Yeah. Like, I guess some are more technique-y and some are more like, I guess just like kind of organic habits, I guess, of thinking. You know, it's a lot of work to change like your relationship to your thoughts. You know, because we get stuck in perspectives because of our thoughts that we can like our thoughts can become very rigid maps of the way the world is, because that's how we make sense of things. And if you start to mess with that, stuff stops making sense as much. And of course, I mean, we're all, I think, and almost everybody at every stage of life is experiencing that at some time, because everything is changing, including our brains and the world around us. And so we're always kind of at some level probably struggling to make sense of things. That can be uncomfortable. And one of the ways that we unfortunately can, we don't like to experience discomfort. So we try to, avoid that discomfort by hanging on to maps, meaning making systems of the way that things should look and should be and stuff like that. So I guess, interestingly, I think one tool for changing the way that I, over the years, help to change the way that I relate to my thoughts is practices for tolerating the discomfort of not knowing, that's the big one of if I have a thought and it's really sticky, really and isn't helping me or it is doing something that I'd rather it not be doing, then sometimes like not believing in it so much can actually be uncomfortable because it might be, say the only way that it might be a thought that leads me to behaviors that are currently my only way of self-soothing in the moment. That I don't know, and so might not know another way of self-soothing other than like scrolling on my phone or something like that, or any other habit, whatever. And so not taking that thought as seriously, not buying into it, might actually be uncomfortable. So I think that's sitting with that discomfort is part of the not taking your thoughts so seriously. But and another one is just that perspective, like recognizing that perspective that thoughts are just maps, and that you heard that, familiar with the phrase, I forget who said it, probably Baudrillard, philosopher. The map is not the territory. Right? Familiar with that? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of duh, but it's hard to really realize that sometimes. Yeah. Because we are so the way that we think is, again, so like we have a mental map, and that actually shapes our perception, like what you see and what you perceive and stuff like that, is what's going to pop up into your awareness is largely due to the map that you've got, for filtering things out and for telling yourself what is important here and what is not important to pay attention to. So those are so it's hard for us to not take maps so seriously. No doubt. But and that can also get confusing. I think I had a period in my life where that idea was actually pretty scary. That that whole idea of the map is not the territory. I would have a recurring challenging thought about that, which was, does that mean that my thoughts aren't real? And if I run with that thought, that can be scary. Like, how can I trust my own perception? How can I trust myself and all that stuff? I think there's a really cool and important addendum to the idea. The map is not the territory. The addendum is, so the map is not the territory, but maps are part of the territory. Yeah. If you're out, think about it literally. You're out in the woods. You got a map. That map that is, you're trying to make your way through the landscape. That map is not the landscape, but the map is a piece of paper. Oh, bless your little stomach there.
Someone's got something to say.
Yeah. So that that map is a piece of paper in the landscape with these leaves and these trees. It's also part of the environment. So are your thoughts. Like, your thoughts are part of reality. Like, they're things that happen. Yeah. And if they were completely arbitrary, completely off, you wouldn't be walking around interacting with people doing effective things. You wouldn't be functional. So thoughts, ideally, thoughts are functional and they serve purposes. And so those purposes can be aligned with our values. I think that's really the I don't know, in my opinion, one of the better litmus tests of like thoughts is like not trying to figure out whether they're true or not, whether they're objectively true, but rather, is this thought effective at helping me turn towards my values and like live my life in the direction of what's important to me.
That's really a nice way to approach it. What helps me also with thoughts and difficult thoughts is mapping them to clouds and knowing that that they're going to pass like the clouds pass. Even if the clouds look really scary for a moment, they're just still morphing and changing. And this is not a permanent thought that I'm in. It's going to shift like the clouds do.
Yeah, like the clouds are not the sky.
Right.
And the sky is your consciousness in some way. I was also thinking about Ram Dass's saying. He says the thoughts are a wonderful, great servant, terrible master.
Yeah.
Terrible master.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking like, what's the percentage I would put on it where I could, be like, my thoughts are 60% effective or 40%, whatever. I was kind of trying to think about that. However, I really loved, there's so many things I loved about what you said. One of the things that I really wanted to touch upon was like the concept of thoughts being real or not real.
Yeah.
I think they're certainly real. Where my head was going at was like, but are they mine? Like, are they my thoughts? And who is mine? Who is me to own these like, what's the word? It's just like, there's insubstantial. There's no substance to thoughts. They're just appearing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Whose are they? What are they? And I loved what you said, how you wrapped all that up about using the thoughts that arise. Maybe they're thought patterns from conditioning that experiences you had as a young child that helped you survive certain situations or cope with certain things, or be effective in the world. So you use the thoughts you discern which thoughts will help you be most effective. And the hope is that it's aligned with your core values, whatever it is, whatever you're putting into effect is aligned with your core values, which is in your heart, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's like, there's the heart-mind connection that I work so hard for,
Nice compass, nice way to eat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The core values. So that's a really cool thing that I think everybody should take the time to explore, like, and outline what are your core values, because that is going to determine a lot of the people you surround yourself with, like you alluded to earlier, what you're doing in the world, your purpose in the world. It's going to cause a lot of
and keeping those
decisions.
updated too, like keeping the core values updated so that you're not in this rigid pattern with like, oh well, I used to think this and so I should still think this, like really being willing to update them,
which is what you were talking about, the meaning, the map, the updating of the map, and the way that there's these thought patterns that come up that might not be helpful and or what you want, and it's uncomfortable to it was uncomfortable to be with those thoughts and not believe them and not like dive deeper into that thought pattern, just let it take full control of you. It's like, that's uncomfortable. But it helps, huh?
Yeah. And so I think like, it's, we have a tendency to like, try to push away and ignore and not experience thoughts that are crappy, which there's that's, I don't think that's always a bad thing, but I think like what you were bringing about, talking about the question of the authorship of the thoughts, whose thoughts are they, that's an interesting thing, that like our brains are inherently social. Who's you use the word I don't know, the word table or something. Whose word is that? Whose word is that? Is it yours? I don't know. It's kind of a silly question. Where did it come from? It came from your culture at large. All of our languaging came from culture, unless you made up a word. And even then, your syntax and the sounds that you make are probably coming from culture at large. And so, I think it's important to like recognize that our brains just will take ideas, will assemble them, and put them together whether you like it or not, whether you like those ideas or not, they're just going to be, it's something that brains do. Like there's a part of your brain that's always like just listening to what's around and going, oh, I'm going to take that too.
It definitely speaks in that voice too.
Yeah.
One of my parts does.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so if you like, even things that you don't like, if you hear a clip of like some politician or some podcaster you don't like, or some,
no one's listening to this podcast,
or something, whatever, some ideas that you don't like, they might be really awful ideas. There's a part of your brain that's like, oh, I'm going to take that, I'm going to say that over a few times, and just randomly in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep. or like, yeah.
It really helps to assign the voice. Like that really brings humor to it. I like that.
Brings, and I relate. I get it.
Yeah,
that's how mine probably sounds.
Yeah.
Too.
That is an acceptance and commitment therapy. That is actually one of the methods of what they call diffusion from thoughts, of not taking them as literally. Is one method, one little trick you can do. Give it a weird voice.
Yeah.
Really effective.
And they're like, okay, it is just a thought that's just happening anyway. Yeah. So
wow,
that's effective.
But those thoughts, they're so powerful. The way they get connected, or the way they are connected to emotions, and the way it can make your body feel is just really wild to me.
For sure.
And so once it gets to, it's like the point of, almost for some people it could feel like no return. Once the thought has then radically shifted your feelings in your body, it's hard to get out of that at that point. You have to have some like pretty good practices or techniques.
Do you mean like
get there?
If it's pushed you into fight or flight mode or something like that?
Right, something like that, or just depression, anxiety, spirals. Yeah, that one's hard to get out. But if you can stay aware, I guess, and present with your thoughts, then maybe it's a little easier to not fall into those traps.
Yeah. So I mentioned acceptance and commitment therapy. I'm a huge nerd of acceptance and commitment therapy.
Wow.
Read like 4 different books on it and stuff like that. And
nerd status.
Yeah.
You reached it after book 3,
Yeah, I guess.
And then you went, you're overachiever.
Yeah. But one of the things that I really liked, that another method of diffusion that is not taking that is releasing fusion, being fused to your thoughts. That's what diffusion. Right?
Yeah.
And so another little trick is if there's like a particular kind of thought pattern that's like thought emotion pattern that's like, for instance, really doomy thoughts, or something like that. One thing that I like to do is I've given those, I call them thought streams. I've given them names, like that one, like for instance, radio doom and gloom. That one that's that thought stream. Yeah, and then actually I haven't been using those names lately. It was really helpful for me like a couple years ago. Like super helpful to like, hi, doom and gloom, I see you, I hear you. I'm going to turn you down just a little bit. But it's like you can't turn these thoughts off, but you might be able to like think of it like a radio station. Like, oh, I see your plan. Yep, I see you're trying to be helpful.
Yep.
Right now it's not actually helpful, so I'm going to just turn you down, and I'm going to focus on, what it is that I want to be doing right now.
Exactly.
It's like, it's not helpful for everybody, but that's like one technique. Giving them names, giving them little voices, like, these are various ways of like these kind of stepping back from from identifying with as the thinker of these thoughts, as the author of these kinds of thoughts.
That's the key point right there, for sure. That's at least what I'm feeling. Yeah. Love the whole like acknowledgement that you have of this specific stream you're talking about. That's to me, I love this. I love what you're talking about. This, what is it called again? This therapy?
Acceptance and commitment therapy.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Acceptance and commitment therapy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either.
I
That's
love
interesting.
that. How'd you find that?
Really roundabout. I was getting into the idea of evolution. I was listening to this author named Ken Wilber, who's really, talk evolution of consciousness and of culture and, humanity in general, and as well as on the individual level. And then I started getting curious about the science of it all, and I ended up with reading a bunch of books by this scientist, this evolutionary scientist named David Sloan Wilson, and he he basically. So he talks about evolutionary principles evolution is not just working through the mechanism of genes. Usually think of like the mechanism of evolution as variation and selection of genetic things. But he more broadly describes evolution as any system. There could be any amount of mechanisms by which a system can perpetuate itself and have a variety of possible behaviors or outcomes, and then some sort of external pressure selects from those possibilities, eliminates certain possibilities, and then the ones that work, the elements of that system that work, those continue to persist. So that's all evolution is.
Yeah.
And it can work on the genetic level. It can also work at the linguistic level and the cultural level, our level of ideas. Ideas do that. Ideas get passed on. They differentiate into wide varieties. The ideas that stick for some reason or another, they do something, they perpetuate. And so they evolve, and then those have, quote, offspring and so on.
That's amazing. Well done with that. Thank you.
And our immune systems do this.
Yeah.
Our brains, the way that our brain pairs out, figures out what neural networks to keep and which ones to get rid of, works the exact same way.
Wow.
It's evolution. So anyway, evolutionary scientist David Sloan Wilson, he started describing about in one of his books, he's like, there's a behavioral therapy that's based on evolutionary processes called acceptance and commitment therapy. And so I was like, what the hell is that? And so I started looking at that, and there's been hundreds of studies about acceptance and commitment therapy. It's based on a foundational theory called relational frame theory, which is a theory of human languaging that is basically describes our thoughts. Our thoughts are evolutionary processes. They serve functions. So our thoughts serve functions, and we can intentionally kind of guide their evolution by selecting based on what thoughts we value, or rather which ones bring us closer to our values. And perpetuating those thoughts and behaviors as well. That's
amazing.
That's what acceptance and commitment therapy.
Wow.
It's basically all about, developing skills of mindfulness, recognizing that your thoughts are happening, techniques of stepping back, taking them less literally, of accepting unpleasant experiences, and then identifying our values, and then taking actions to move closer to our values.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
In a nutshell.
Wow.
Yeah. I love that. I think it sounds like you found something that really works for you and for your internal world. And I love the background information about how you got there through evolutionary science.
Yeah.
And how that really just seems like that's something that grabbed you, that
Yeah.
you were really interested in and just excited to learn more about. And then boom, here's this therapeutic modality that's kind of based on the foundation of evolutionary processes that we've developed, and we've developed them for super good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
We're here because of everything that we contain right now in the way it evolved, I believe. Fear, all these things we feel like we're plagued by. Sometimes it's like, they have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And they still have a purpose, even though we're not in the jungle fighting off tigers, they still have some purpose to protect us, to help us, to move us forward and perpetuate, right? The preserve the living of our species.
Yeah.
But it's still like, I loved what you said about, in this therapy, you are consciously working towards choosing the thoughts that you would rather evolve versus the ones that seem to not help, I guess. And that that's
and
really cool.
That choice process is it's not that you're like the general idea of acceptance commitment therapy is that you largely have no control over your thoughts, actually. But you do have more control over your behavior and how you can relate to your thoughts. So, so that it's kind of a two-pronged approach, which is that changing your relationship to your thoughts and then choosing behaviors that align with your values. It's basically it's a method of intentional personal evolution in that regard.
But oh my gosh, so sorry, this is the last thing I'm going to say about it, but so at the same time, it's personal because it's like it all starts here with yourself, but the ripple effect that has on you, the people you interact with, also is there and positive. My thought was like, I eventually want to be a father, and if I can like evolve these, I don't know what you're talking about, like being able to pass along these core values that are in my, hopefully at that point more ingrained into my DNA, into my body, that pass that along to future generations. I think that's a really positive thing. And then AI is going to get better.
It's going to be a wild ride.
No, I think you were right there saying, you were just pointing out one of your core values, which I think is something that a lot of us share, is that like, these efforts of personal, like, quote unquote betterment or evolution or whatever, they're not really important if they're not, embedded in the fact that like we are in this together, we are a community,
social,
and that is like, for me, one of the definitely one of my core values is like the things that I want to do, the things that really excite me are almost always for other people.
There's so much in being of service with feeling a sense of purpose and connection to a community. One thing I wanted to ask you about, Bryan, was how you got involved in theater, acting, improv. I have just so enjoyed your involvement with Coyote Call Circus and your characters like Nugget, your puppet, and the bear, Licky the bear.
Nugget would come.
Like when I first saw Licky the bear, I think it was at Country Fair in 2024.
Wow.
And you had put on the bear suit. That was the first time I saw it out in public, I think. And then you were on the path with Licky the bear outside of the Pure Love chocolate booth. And people were tripping out because they thought there was a real bear on the path at the fair. And it was hilarious. I loved it so much. And there was a dynamic that was so beautiful between Brittany Ray and you as the bear, and she was leading the bear around, having you jump through hoops, and it was a whole thing. And I really appreciate the creativity of the two of you together and also independent. So I was curious, how did you get started in all this?
Well, when I was 8, I first auditioned for my first show at the Majestic Theater in Corvallis, and so I was in. And then when at that age, then I was like, oh, I want to be an actor when I grow up, and I did theater all through high school. In high school, it was like my crowning achievement in the senior year was playing the lead in Grease, and I was like, I'm hot shit. Yeah. And so I that's impressive. Strutted out of high school into the local community theater and was like, I'm gonna get cast in the lead in Damn Yankees. And then they cast me as like baseball player number 2, and I was like,
number 2.
What's wrong with these people? What's wrong with me? I can't do this. Yeah. So I basically I was like 19 or not. 18, whatever, how old I was, and that put the idea in my head that nah, I don't think I'll do acting. And then I had this whole and I tried to switch my interest to okay, I should think of something more realistic to do with my life, but at least something creative, I'll do special effects. I like 3D graphics, so I'll do special effects for movies. And I was like, okay, I'll major in film. And then went to New Orleans for film school. Hadn't taken any film classes yet.
Oh my gosh!
And then Hurricane Katrina. I'm just telling my whole fucking life story.
That's what we're going for.
Hurricane Katrina and the occult and all this weird shit and
you got into that?
Yeah, and then
in New Orleans.
Yeah, that's another story. That's
good place for it.
Voodoo.
Well, Thelema.
Okay.
So, anyway, moved to New Orleans, and I was like, the world's gonna end. Peak oil. I got really freaked out about climate change and peak oil, and I was like, oh my god, society's gonna collapse in 5 years or something. I don't know. And so I was like, I should study disaster management instead. Went to school for disaster management. Quit after 3 years because I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And
that's a bummer.
So I was just flopping around, and part of my fortunately I fell in with a group of a school. So I was studying Thelema at the time. It's an occult philosophy of ceremonial magic. Yeah. Whoa. And one of the I was got initiated in an organization called the Temple of Thelema, and they're very each kind of grade of it is really oriented around self-exploration, all these homework things, and one of them is find an art to do. One of the homeworks was get your hands dirty, do some art. So I started playing around with art and trying to paint, and I was at this point maybe 28. Yeah, and I hadn't done any art in at that point maybe 9 years or something like that. And then I went to Burning Man and where that going. One of Patch Adams' assistant was there and gave a talk about clowning and handing out noses.
Clowning?
Yeah, clowning and handing out noses and stuff. And so one night I put a little bit of acid in my eye and put on a clown nose, and I just wandered the back streets of Burning Man as a silent clown. And it was fucking lovely, and then I was like, I'm gonna take dance classes. I'm gonna audition for shows, get back into theater, and this time I'm not trying to make money. This time I just want to have fun. So I did. So that was when I was 28. What year was that? I don't know.
2000.
No wait, I wasn't 28. That was 2012, 8 or 9 actually, when I started getting back into that stuff. So then I started doing theater again in Corvallis, and that was largely had never been paid. Did that for a few years, and then in one show, somebody was like, "You're gonna sing a song from Avenue Q, which is a bunch of puppets." And I was like, "Do I get a puppet?" And they were like, "No, you'd have to make one." So I made my first puppet, the main character from Avenue Q. And then a few months later after that, I got an opportunity to help a guy in Portland do a puppet movie. And I met some Portland puppeteers. And then I moved up there and started doing puppetry professionally. That's when, then circus stuff, da-da-da.
Wow. It started with the puppets.
Yeah.
Well, really, it started at Burning Man with the clown nose.
Way at the beginning. It started when I was 8 years old.
That's right.
8 years old. That's why I don't know, it's the problem or whatever, but when I try to tell a story about something that happened to me, I'm like, well, it's all connected to everything else in the past.
It's all part of the evolution.
Let me start at the beginning.
Yeah.
God created the heavens and the earth.
Let's go way back. Let's go back to the first tortilla.
Yeah, first tortilla. That was before God. I think that was before God, actually.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm curious, when did you get involved with Coyote Call Circus?
Oh yeah, that was fun. So I met Nicole a few years prior, but like we didn't hang out very much because I was in Corvallis, she was in Eugene, and then at some point, like I had a few friends in Corvallis who they invited. This is in Corvallis who wanted to put on a little circus called Cirque Felice, and we got together and we had our first meeting. Our first circus meeting, talking about our first show. And during our circus meeting, I got a text from Nicole that was like, "Hey, you want to be in our circus in Eugene?"
The timing.
What? What is going on?
That's the cosmic wink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was, and then I came down and did our first Coyote Call show.
Wow.
And that's where I met Brittany Ray.
Aww.
Yeah. So sweet.
Huge fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge fan. Like there's such a purity of Coyote Call Circus and that you can tell everyone is having a great time that's putting it on, and that there's just like a real good intention, and it's not you're not doing it for the money or for the fame. It's just for the like pure expression of sharing with the community, and I find that so beautiful about what you all are doing.
Yeah. Give us your money though.
I mean, to make it sustainable.
Well, no, yeah.
Where can we go to find out about Coyote Call Circus and like what's happening with that project?
So I'm really bad at that part, but the go onto Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And look up Coyote Call Circus or Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Instagram and Facebook. You have no website yet?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Who's running those social media pages?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Brittany Ray,
wow.
maybe, and
mysterious figure.
I think I feel like maybe a couple people are.
Nice. Yeah.
Share the load of the social media burden.
Yeah. I know that she's Brittany. You'll have to ask bring Brittany Ray back to this podcast and ask her. I'm just so bad at. I used to do like social media a lot more, but it's just like I'm really bad at like promoting myself, promoting things, and I like stopped posting on Instagram, and I know that people would probably like what I post and stuff like that, but I just can't be bothered.
It's gotta work. It's gotta work for you, and it's gotta be from inspired action and not like out of obligation. That's the key with that stuff.
Yeah.
I think it'd be so fun to have Brittany Ray back on along with you and do a 4-person.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like we've been talking about that possibility.
It's going to be our first 4-person podcast.
I know, we're getting close.
We got the mic stands for it.
We got 4.
Brian,
we do. There's an empty mic stand right there.
It's got a mic for it too.
It'd be hard to sit.
We'll move the table out from the wall. Cool. That's part of it. Go to the center. We keep the round table.
So I had actually a question, not a question, maybe a question. Just wanted to circle back to acknowledging your deep self-exploration through the temple and through other stuff, the occult, and just like it sounds like your philosophically like oriented and whatnot, and that came natural to you, and you kind of through that maybe lost this creative side of you.
Yeah.
And once you found it again, it felt like it feels like you're balanced. It feels like what I'm sensing is you're really balanced in this like hyper intellectual sciency, and then that's left brain, and then somehow you're just like, you can drop into right brain, open, flowing, just like, I don't know, when we are in that state together, I'm just like, who is this person and how is he coming up with these? How does he when you get into puppet mode, like you're probably more in right brain,
probably,
and I'm really wanting to just like acknowledge this like balance that I'm sensing with you through your evolution. That's what you found yourself, you know.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for that, and like for the path that I've been on, and everybody who has been a part of that, and the influences, the people I've read, whose writings I've read, and whose voices I've listened to, and friends I've had, and all that kind of stuff. It's because I definitely, I've been through. I think overthinking things is like it has been a huge challenge for me. It's not as much of a challenge anymore, and that's super fun. That's super good. But yeah, anyway, I think the balance, you can think of it right and left brain, and in a way, it's all sense making. Like I do take certain, like, I do have a very a strong map of how I make sense of things. But and that map has huge areas that are I don't say intentionally left blank, but but the areas of my map of knowing that I know are areas that are totally flowy and can't be mapped, just like a river. It's like, it's not that crazy of an idea. Like, you have a map of a landscape. These parts of the landscape don't really change very much, but this one's a river. You don't map the currents because it's just flowing. This is a part of the territory that is little, and that's cool.
Favorite sound.
Yeah, little. But anyway, that's
cool.
I guess that's, and like, I want to explore. I want to sometimes I want to find out new things that make a lot of sense, and sometimes I want to explore shit that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to flip the sand timer in an intentional way of 10 minutes left for this podcast, since we have some appointments coming up.
Okay.
And as part of the starting of the sand timer, I wanted to pass Little Ball to you, Bryan, and have you pull a Little Ball message for the collective that's listening to this podcast now and in the future.
For the collect. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to make the Little Ball sound.
It's so satisfying.
I like it.
It's so good.
Amazing.
ASMR, Little Ball.
So this Little Ball here, Little Ball's just touching your scalp and your ears. Okay, anyway.
Oh, I love that. I feel like we could do like 10 minutes of that.
Full times.
I know some people are like kind of triggered by that, so
they can put in their earplugs.
In retrospect, I hope that you turned down the volume then.
Yeah.
Or turned up.
And turn it back up right now.
Because I figured it out.
Hope you adjust your EQ accordingly for that part.
Your emotional
quality.
Quotient.
Question?
Emotional quality of experience.
Okay, so I'm drawing a thing for the, what was it you said?
For the collective that's listening to this podcast now and in the future. So now being for us, and for the future, anyone that listens.
Okay.
Here now.
I'm watching Little Ball while I select.
Oh, this is very intentional. I like this
Little
connection to
Ball.
Little
Never
Ball.
seen it done
I've never
before.
seen this.
Little Ball's like that one.
Oh wow.
Not that one.
Guided
that
by
one.
Little Ball.
Okay.
Not that one.
Such guidance.
Beautiful.
This is Little Ball says, "Give thanks to the mothers."
Oh my gosh, Little Ball.
It all goes back to the mother.
Don't forget
Thank
about
you,
the
mother.
mothers.
Thanks to the mothers.
Thanks to the mother. It's all the mothers, you know.
Yeah.
It's all mothers,
That's
you know.
right. It's,
Mothers all the way down.
All the way down the line.
All the way
Not
back.
turtles, it's mothers. But that turtle was a mother.
Yeah.
We got a winner.
Ding.
Mothers for the win.
Mothers for your butters. Mothers with butters.
Mothers for your brothers.
Mothers for your
Mhm.
sisters and your brothers.
Little Ball loves you and wants you to feel really good about your life. That's the intention.
Where did you write all those little
On that,
things?
on the.
No, I mean
Oh.
inside. All
No,
the
I
fortunes.
wish. I mean, these are great. So this is a calendar. It's called the I Stand for Love calendar. It comes out every year, and so this is like 2 calendars worth cut up, 2 years worth of different intentions for each day. My friend Kimmy, she's friends with the woman that makes this, and she sells these calendars. Kimmy sells these calendars at her little holiday store that she does in her house every year. And so I always pick one up. And then in January, I cut up the previous year and put it into Little Ball's home.
Wow.
And
I
so
think you
it keeps
could
growing.
make that, though. I think you really could if you sat down.
Sure, but it's like someone's already done the work for me.
For Little Ball.
And my ego might get attached. You know, we got to keep it neutral. And like, I'm just the steward of Little Ball's wisdom. I don't write the things.
Yeah.
And Little Ball was a found object that now has a lot of consciousness imbued into it. This little cat toy. A lot of energy has gone into it.
Yeah. I feel like so I want to step back, go rewind a little bit. I want to give thanks to the mothers. And, and I was thinking about my mother and how much I love my mother and how grateful I am for the like who she is. And so consequently how, she raised me and my brother. It's like, she's not the author of my person, but she was a very good person to grow up around and to I think I credit a lot of my my intellectual life to my mother and my interest in learning new perspectives. And that, I think, curiosity about other ways of looking at the world, for me, that has been key all the way back, and to most of my like personal growth. I feel like, and I credit a lot of that to my mother, who she's an anthropologist. She teaches anthropology at OSU, and and
it's really beautiful.
She loves to sew and make. Right now, she's really into pottery.
Wow.
Yeah, she like does does these arts here and there, and creates beautiful stuff, and thinks very well.
Can we get your mother on the podcast?
We could, yeah.
Be great.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Sounds like she found the balance too.
Yeah.
It's what I'm really getting a lot from this conversation is make time for the play and the creativity aspect, the part of that's what really makes life balanced and juicy.
Yeah.
Otherwise
it gets so serious and rigid so fast. If you don't have the play in there and the creativity and the expansiveness.
Get your hands dirty, that's what you said earlier. Get your hands dirty.
Actually, like I can credit, I've definitely had a lot of like rigidity in my life and my experience and stuff. And what you said, for some reason I had a flashback to when a lot of that started to change for me again, which was the Temple of Thelema thing. One of their homework pieces was like, get really explore your sensory experience. So every day have an intentional like period where you go and like touch things, smell things, look at the colors, feel the textures, like go out, and like discover things with your senses. Look at the colors, like look at the colors of stuff. Feel how things feel. And I remembered I did I was like, I went out and I started like crinkling leaves with my hands and playing with the dirt and like looking at little details on like bugs and stuff. And I was like, wow, I just used to do this regularly as a kid.
That's exactly
right. And what that did is that brought it, like started waking up that child again. I was like, everything is amazing.
Isn't
truly
so
is
cool and weird?
Yeah,
I'm just like loving the idea of you crinkling the leaves. That's really cool.
I love that.
And you can, and immediately that like fires up my imagination. One of my favorite things to imagine is like when I look at like leaves or like little small details out in the world. It's like imagine what it'd be like if I was that size. If I was like like a centimeter tall, and how different and crazy and alien everything would be. Like, just little things like that. And just literally changing my perspective to a different size is immediately, I don't know, for me, like just a good practice of like ways to shift my brain into something else.
Makes me think of Alice in Wonderland when she eats the mushroom and grows giant, or the potion. What is it, the mushroom or the potion? The perspective change.
We are Alice in Wonderland.
Wow. And it's such a great reminder, Bryan, about like the power of our minds and the way it can imagine these different circumstances, or different, just like right now we could all kind of like drop in and imagine what it would be like to be at the size of an ant. We could do it, and like some people will say like, oh, I can't do that. I have a really poor like visuals thing going on in my mind and can't really see that. I think it's a practice. I think it's a practice and it's like a muscle that you go to the gym, you get your gym hair, you get your I'm sorry, I got imagination hair, don't care. And but I was at the imagination gym.
Oh, I love that gym. I have a membership.
Yeah, you too.
And we all have, just like we have our different body types have different muscular strengths. We have different imaginative strengths. Like some people are really good at like auditory imagination, like music, and other people are good at visual imagination. Some people don't have the ability to visualize even, and they have other abilities. And so
that's amazing. Beautiful. This has been just such an amazing time with you, Bryan. It's been so sweet.
Thank you so much for being here.
Super cool to
sharing all that you have. It's been a lot of food for thought and a lot of just really interesting territory that we covered today.
Thank you. This is my first time being on a podcast.
Wow. How sweet. What an honor.
Let's do it again. Let's do it
Thank
again. You got such wonderful thoughts going on in that head of yours. And what a beautiful journey you've been on, and just so my appreciation for you has deepened like 100-fold.
Oh,
same.
Well, thank you.
Being on a podcast with someone is just such a beautiful way to get to know a person. It's just
when you sit down and interview your friends.
Never, not at any tortilla party have I done that.
I mean, I'd like to start doing Tortilla Thursday, where like 5 o'clock's like podcast, and then we go into the potluck after that.
Wow, that'd actually be really cool.
Thinking about it at some point.
Cool.
Cool.
We'll have Brittany Ray here. Leave my mom in here. We'll have a party.
What about grandmommy?
My grandma will talk.
No,
she's a geographer.
Grandmommy.
Yeah, grandmommy. I call her grandmommy. Yes, I do. I really do.
She's a philosopher.
She's a geographer, and she and her.
Rocky.
Anyway, a whole new story. She's a whole new story.
Okay.
They traveled all over.
Other story. We're
and
almost
the grains of sand are getting
dripping
down to maybe 20
seconds.
And those grains are moving. And it's just been such a beautiful time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for living.
Yeah.
For breathing.
And thank you for your mothers.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm glad your mothers
great mothers.
Great mothers. Thank you for those great tortilla mother.
The great tortilla mother.
Yeah. And we'll see you all next time on the Bon Bon's Nook podcast.
See you there, Bon Bon's Nook. At Bon Bon's Nook o'clock. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bless you.